Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Najwa Hussaini with Azadi News. WHO draws attention to Rohingya mental health issues. Facebook removes Burmese pages and accounts ahead of election. More than 20% of Bangladesh's Rohingya refugees are struggling with mental health issues, a grim result of the abuse and trauma suffered in Burma, an official from the World Health Organization (WHO) said on Saturday. The statistics were shared on World Mental Health Day, which is marked on October 10th every year, and seeks to highlight the plight of nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees in Cox's Bazar, the world's largest refugee camp. According to data from the Ministry of Health and shared by the WHO, there were 14,819 consultations for mental health conditions registered by the District Health Department among the Rohingya in 2019. From January to now, the figure has jumped to nearly 20,000. Most cases were addressed by healthcare centers at the camps, where Rohingya patients were given counseling and treatment. In the aftermath of a crisis, 1 person in 5 is estimated to have depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia, WHO spokesperson Kathleen Berkaru told the media. The psychosocial and social impacts of emergencies may be acute in the short term, but they can also undermine the long-term mental health and psychosocial well-being of the affected populations. The Rohingya have endured decades of abuse and trauma in Burma, beginning in the 1970s, when hundreds of thousands sought refuge in Bangladesh. Between 1989 and 1991, an additional 250,000 fled when a military crackdown followed a popular uprising and Burma was renamed Myanmar. In 1992, Bangladesh and Myanmar agreed on a repatriation deal that led to thousands of Rohingya returning to Rakhine State. The exodus to Bangladesh resumed a few years ago. A refugee 31-year-old Amina B said she continuously relived the horror of the atrocities she was subjected to. She asked that her full name not be disclosed. I was gang-raped by a group of people. They thought I was dead and left me inside my home. When I returned to my senses, I found myself surrounded by my neighbors in my yard. They took away my husband on that day and I never met him again. After 1 week, along with a few of my neighbors, I started walking toward Bangladesh. It took me 8 days to reach Cox's Bazar. Berkaru said that while the WHO had trained at least 8,000 doctors and 1,000 nurses for mental health-related ailments in the past 2 years, the problems were increasing among emergency-affected populations, with the COVID-19 pandemic expected to have a massive impact on people's mental well-being. As of Friday, nearly 276 Rohingya had tested for coronavirus with 8 deaths reported. To date, 291 professionals working in the camps and government facilities have benefited from the training, Berkaru added. The WHO said the more worrying factor that emerged during consultations and treatment was that children were found to be one of the most vulnerable groups among the refugees. According to UNICEF, there are around 470,000 children in the camps at Cox's Bazar, including some who suffer from mental health issues. Berkaru said the WHO had formed a special task force to address this problem, with activities focusing on the promotion of well-being. In a statement, Facebook said it had closed accounts in multiple countries, including Burma, from government or military-linked networks it said were spreading disinformation. In Burma, which heads to the polls next month, Facebook said it had removed 17 pages 50 accounts and 6 Instagram accounts. Many of these were critical of civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and her party, as well as a small number targeting the long-persecuted Rohingya community. Our investigation found links to members of the Myanmar military, said Facebook, which is scrambling to improve its image in a nation where online hate speech is thought to have spilled into offline violence. The platform said it had also removed more than 850 dubious accounts spanning Nigeria, Azerbaijan, the US, Kenya, and Botswana in the first week of October alone. Last month, it closed 511 accounts mainly based in Russia, China, and the Philippines. This is today's news. To get more updates about Rohingya, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Visit our website azadinews.org and follow our social media accounts. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.